And DRB, you are live.
Good morning, everyone. I call to order the Design Review Board for June 18th, 2024. The first item on our agenda are the minutes of April 16, 2024. Are there any questions or corrections? If not, I would entertain a motion to approve. Do I have that motion?
I'll make a motion.
Thank you, Ann. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Great. The next item is the minutes of May 21st, 2024. Are there any corrections or questions? If not, I would entertain a motion to approve. Do I have that motion?
You get a motion?
Thank you. Cheryl, do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Great, thank you. And then on the commercial district, we have Flatch Realty, 79 Main Street is the applicant present. Good morning, Jim.
Morning. Jim McMullen from Fleetwood, Bickmullen, and Sanabria. This application is for a trench drain along the, northeast side of the property, which has a brick walkway. That brick walkway is draining water kind of into the basement of this building. So what we want to do is put a trench drain in there, and then from the inside waterproof that foundation wall. So the brick does go onto our client's property, and it's just a row of bricks that will be taken out, the trench drain put in, and then piped to a dry well.
Perfect. Thanks, Jim. Thank you. Billy, any questions? Okay, I have no problem with this, and it's necessary. So do I have a motion to approve this application?
I'll make a motion.
Thank you, Cheryl. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Great. Jim,
Thank you very much.
Thank you,
Thank
Jim.
Thank you, sir. The next item on our agenda is Staud, S-T-A-U-D, at 66 Newtown Lane, and it's planters. And good morning.
Good morning.
And your name?
My name is Marco Hernandez. I'm the store manager for the Staud location, and
Welcome.
we're going to be putting planters outside of 66 this time, so similar to the ones on 23,
Yes.
white. So 2 in the back entrance. The sizes are 20 inches wide by 20 inches tall, and then 6 at the front. And they're going to be 2 that are 10 inches by 10 inches, and then the 2 that are 15 by 15, and then another 2 that are 10 by 10 again.
Right. And what are they made of?
Doesn't say here, but they're like white concrete.
Concrete.
almost.
Okay, perfect.
Clay? Hey, clay pots?
Yeah, like clay concrete.
Yeah.
Concrete. So that's good. So they're heavy and they'll hold down and
Yes,
they won't
they'll hold
blow
down, yeah.
away.
Will go
Okay.
away.
Thank you. Billy, any comments? No? Okay, I don't have, this sounds fine. Do I have a motion to approve this application?
I'll make a motion.
Thank you very much. Do I have a second?
Second.
Cheryl, thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Great, thank you. Thank you very much. The next application is Gucci at 17 Newtown Lane, and again, it's planters. Welcome, and your name is?
I'm Matthias. I'm representing the Gucci as the architect.
Okay,
The petition is to request 8 small planters, 12 inches in diameter, made of ceramic, pushed to the nearest step on the entry storefront of the Gucci store. So,
yes, thank you.
these 8 up here.
Yes. Okay,
So they're on the step? Is that, they're
They're-
up on the,
They're 1 into the sidewalk, the 8, and then there's additional ones that are on the Gucci property on the steps.
Are the original, the ones that are on the Gucci property right now remaining?
Yes.
Billy, any comments?
Yeah. Trying to go down.
How you doing? I just have one comment on if you're looking at the photograph on the left-hand side of the building, the planters on the left, that's a doorway. So they're blocking a doorway, which we would need to look at to ensure that it's not a required fire egress.
Okay,
That's something we wouldn't be able to block with planters. And I don't know right now if it is or not, but that's my only comment.
so Tom, what would you suggest here?
Good morning. Thank you, Robert. I wasn't aware of that, actually.
Oh, okay.
Quite honestly, Billy just brought it up to me, so it could be very,
Okay,
important. I'm not sure what that door service is, but we wouldn't want to have a planter in front of it regardless.
Okay,
I will look at that and
all right. Okay, so we'll have to look at that and then you can come back to us, okay?
thank you.
Oh, inside of here.
Yeah.
Yeah, right here. Yeah, is that? Well, I don't know. I mean,
There's no door there. It's just the two entry doors.
excuse me one moment. Yeah.
Go ahead.
I mean, I looked at it yesterday, and to me, it appeared to be a doorway right here, this area. It's not shown as a door on the plans, but
Oh, I don't think that's a door.
Here.
it's not.
No, that's not a door. No.
Okay, if that, if
Okay.
indeed not a door, then it's, like I said, I wasn't aware of that. and I
So
will
why don't we
check that.
just put this stipulation of the plantings, Abby, go ahead, I'm sorry.
I'm just questioning why, I mean, there's a number of planters that you have. Is it necessary to go out onto the sidewalk? I mean, you've got a lot of steps there that perhaps you could rearrange without being down. Aspirate it.
Could you speak into the microphone, please?
Oh, speaking to the
Sorry.
microphone.
There's only 8 in the sidewalk area. They're pushed right against the steps. They're only 12 inches in diameter.
Okay. Now, Billy, what is this, if they're going onto the sidewalk, that's village property.
That is, yes.
Code
So
says,
the board has permission to grant approval for, at your discretion, and allow planters on a sidewalk. The minimum or the maximum diameter is 12 inches or
12 inches.
or depth. So there can be 3 feet in height with the plantings and 12 inches in depth. That's the maximum. But it's again, it's your discretion.
Okay.
It's not.
Thank you.
Well, what's the height of the plant?
The species being used are ficus and perennium aureum, so.
Really low?
no plants.
Board members, how do you feel about planters on the sidewalk of the village here? It's on village property.
Well, we've allowed it to other people, so
Yeah. Okay.
I just, they have so much steps. It
seems like
could
a
be
lot.
rearranged that it
Yeah.
didn't need, but we've already said yes
Yes.
to other people, so.
Okay, then,
in the code.
okay, then do I have a motion to approve the application?
I'll make a motion.
Thank you. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Great, thank you. The next item is Andrew and Alyssa Klein at 177 Main Street. Is the applicant present? Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes. Just
we have a-
introduce yourself. Yeah.
I'm Farnaz Mansouri. I'm the agent for
Okay.
Mr. and Mrs. Klein. They have a house on 177 Main, and we have a situation where people who either want to go to the hotel or who miss their driveway come into our driveway and try to U-turn. And at times, I've been witness to them standing around making calls and so on and so forth. And it's a bottleneck over there because of the traffic anyway. So we analyzed the problem for the clients, and I said, maybe we could do an electric gate inside our own property after the post box, everything, and with a pedestrian gate, gate that the UPS and others can go through. That way, it would be a deterrent for people to use our driveway as their U-turn driveway or whatever. And so what we did, we thought it was possible at the time. We didn't know we need the architectural review, but we knew that we were in the landmark district. So we went around, looked at what's precedent there, and we sort of said, we'll just make it look like whatever looks contextual. And so that's our proposal. One of the things that was brought up to us is, do we have enough room to sort of pause while the driveway opens? And I took a picture of a SUV just to show that between the street and the sidewalk, we have room to wait. And, of course, with these electric gates, which is why we recommended it, you have time, you could speed it up to open faster or slower. It depends on what the right timing is. So that's why we're proposing. They don't really want a gate, but they think that they need it because it's become a bit of a security issue.
Okay, well, thank you, and thank you. Billy, your comments?
Excuse me. Good morning, board members. Billy Hajak for the village. This was discussed at a prior meeting, and I reiterate the same comments I offered to the board at that meeting, which is that gates are not a common feature in the Main Street Historic District. I know that they tried to design this to mimic the gate that's across the street at Mulford Farm. That's a unique situation. I mean, the farm has been there and the gate has been like that, and it's not a manual gate, it's a farm gate. They did provide documentation. There's one other gate in the district, but it's a flag lot next to the hedges end, and the gate is set back about 30 feet from the sidewalk. I mean, it's practically invisible from anybody. I just would caution you that this is not the character of the Main Street District.
Exactly.
I mean, there might be extenuating circumstances here, but, gates are not a common feature in the district.
Right. Yeah.
Well, we actually, we don't actually agree with that, because I took a photograph of the entire street for you, which is what that spliced is, and it's all gated. It's just that it's commercial. There's very few residential projects that have no gate, and that I understand. We don't have a neighbor that's residence. We have a hotel as our neighbor, and it is an extraordinary situation that even there's a house between all these hotels. So I think I agree that there is no residences with gates, but the whole street is gated, actually. It's not fenced, it's not a driveway fence, but it's fenced. So we would make it any color and picture you want. I could go to the whites. I went across the street. I thought that was more contextual for the landmark district, but we don't have an issue with color and stuff. We have an issue where people are using our driveway. And we ask for your assistance in giving us guidance as to what is appropriate if we can't hold back the entire traffic of 27, which wants to turn, uses us, because everyone else is commercial and doesn't have to have, it doesn't have a problem getting a gate or a fence or whatever it is that stops them from turning.
Okay. Thank you. Tom, your input? Yeah.
Gates are
No, I don't really
fences,
have
not
any.
gates.
Okay.
They're fences, not gates.
Yeah.
Where
they're
there are
fences.
driveways,
Yes.
there's no
yes.
gates.
Okay.
Excuse me one moment. Sure. Thank you. Yeah, as far as the zoning code goes, there's really,
Yes.
I mean, it's compliant there, but I drive there constantly, and I don't find to be, I don't live there, but I don't see that there's a traffic issue there.
Yeah, right, absolutely. Okay, board members, and I think that this is the historic district, and I don't think it's a good precedent
I agree.
to do this. So I would have to say, anybody disagree, board members? Okay. All right.
What guidance do you have for us if we have problems with, I know that people haven't witnessed it. I don't live there either, have witnessed the
Well,
problem.
We
It's serious.
have to also protect the historic districts.
I understand.
Okay.
I'm saying, what is it that I could do to help alleviate the problem? If not a gate, could I put a rope up? Could I do, what is it that they can do so that people are not coming into their drive? It's not just a driveway. They're coming in and they're making a U-turn. They're actually using it. There's some traffic changes made there too, which I'm not actually
There's nothing
familiar
that
with.
we could do about to
Yeah,
prevent.
I don't think it's in our purveyance.
Yeah,
to
that's not
tell
in
you
our-
how to.
Exactly.
Is there a sign on the property?
Yeah,
that
this
says
is our private properties.
I haven't done anything.
Yeah,
I
that's a
didn't know.
suggestion. The board
Yeah.
really can't make suggestions. They can approve an application that you're presenting to them.
Yeah.
So, and I don't know what the traffic impacts would be if you put up a barrier there, how.
We have for example, we have a gate already there. I don't know. I don't actually know where it is it's on the survey. It's the entry to the driveway. So the question is, what's allowable?
There's
for
a
that?
difference between a fence gate and a driveway gate.
Well, a driveway gate is what we have currently.
The gate is,
Yeah,
that's
well-
your pool enclosure fence that operates as a gate, which is
The driveway,
it's
it's a driveway
at the
also.
terminus of their improved driveway, which is, I don't know, 80 or 90 feet back into the property. So
What I'm asking is there can I have this closer? Not as close as we proposed, but let's say closer to the house. Where is it that you would be okay with it?
I'm
Like
not gonna,
30 feet
I'm not
in?
gonna negotiate it at the meeting. If you
So
wanna-
what do I-
if you wanna have a
So just
discussion.
present a different proposal and application to the board. We can't make suggestions.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay,
You know, I tell you, I've got to say, have the same problem. I live on Toilsome Lane, and people that are coming down Toilsome, they miss the merry-go-round, and they come in my driveway, and I've had cars, I have a camera up, and I can see the cars come in. They come right in the driveway, back up, turn around, go back out, and they do it time and time and time again. And I don't know, there's much you can do about it.
okay, thank you, thank you. The next item on the agenda is David Cole, and yes, that's not approved. Yes. 4 Lockwood Lane, is the applicant present? Thank you, and good morning.
Good morning, Shannon McCaffrey, Due East Planning.
Yes.
We are proposing an 8-foot wide, 6-foot high driveway gate. It'll be constructed out of PVC, and it's going to be white. And it's going to be used for service entry, and it's going to be a proper curb cut that we're working with the Department of Public Works for to allow for service vehicles.
Thank you. Billy, your input on this application?
Good morning, board members. Billy Hajak for the village. This is a similar situation. The board had looked at this once before. I didn't attend that meeting, so I read the minutes, but I wasn't at the meeting. The fact that the board approved a pedestrian gate here, it was not clear to me that it was actually a PVC. My recommendation to the board would have, that at the time had been,
It wasn't clear
at least
to us
constructed
either.
of.
It wasn't clear to us.
Of wood and not PVC.
No,
But
not PVC.
so the gates on Ocean Road, in the Ocean Road Historic District, that is a district that does have gates, and all of the gates that exist are picket-style gates. They're not solid material. They allow you to see into the property a little bit. So, if you were to allow which I don't know how a service vehicle is going to use an 8-foot wide gate either.
Right.
If it's for service and trucks, it's not wide enough. But that's a separate matter. But I think it should be like more inconsistent with the character of the Ocean Road District, which are picket-style gates.
Yes, and I was there at the meeting, and we did not approve.
We did not approve the.
We did not approve an 8-foot wide. What we approved was a pedestrian gate for access, but a pedestrian gate cannot be at a PVC in a historic district either. So,
I think it may have been approved that way on Lockwood.
on Lockwood.
On fronting on Lockwood, I don't know if the material would necessarily matter,
Yes.
but on Ocean, where it's
Ocean,
fronting.
yes.
Ocean,
No,
we
no.
approved a pedestrian gate on
pedestrian.
Ocean,
On-
and it wasn't
That's right.
disclosed
Not
to us
8
that it was
feet.
PVC.
Yeah.
And
So,
we denied the 8-foot.
We did not, yeah,
yeah,
not 8
we
feet.
would have to deny the 8-foot, but if you want to submit an application for, a 3-foot wide pedestrian, not at a PVC, we'll look at that application.
I think we approved that already.
We did, yeah.
You approved, the builder was the previous applicant, I wasn't.
Yes,
But he agreed to the pedestrian, not understanding the intentions of the homeowner. It's not just for pedestrian use. It's just, they wanted to be able to have the trucks, because Lockwood Lane with all 4 lots, like when you have all the trucks, it gets very congested there. So he just wanted to be able to have a pull-off area.
We can't have,
And
correct me if I'm wrong, Lisa, but we cannot have an 8-foot wide gate there going on Ocean Avenue. They have their own access right on Lockwood Avenue to bring their vehicles in and out, so that,
I think, but
This is-
they are working also with the assessor to change their address and to have,
So perhaps when you're finished working with the
Yeah.
assessor's office, you can renew the application.
well, we need to be able to install the driveway and everything before we can. It's approved by the assessor to be 77 Ocean Avenue, but you need a final survey with the driveway installed to finalize the change of address. So it's kind of like,
Kind of cart before the horse, I guess.
exactly. So like we can't really, we wouldn't go all the
I
way.
don't think that they can approve if it's not
Yeah, we can't approve it. Yeah. We can't approve it until you have to follow procedure here. Yes, Billy.
Is it going to be a driveway, like an actual improved driveway?
Yes.
To what's going to be a lot with its own address,
No.
No, it's this
lot.
same lot. It's this property. And I believe they're entitled to a curb
a
cut.
different address from the assessor's office. Why? Just so I understand.
Because they want an Ocean Avenue address.
I see. Okay, they're just changing the, okay.
Yeah,
So,
just
and then
changing the
we'll have a
address.
Driveway.
But it's going to be like a gravel driveway or? Yeah,
Yes,
okay,
exactly.
okay.
Like proper curb cut approved from Department of Public Works. So it's going to be, it's not just a pull off going across grass into their driveway. It's going to be a proper driveway.
What then is going to happen to the existing driveway on Lockwood Lane?
They're going to remain that driveway as well for access. And so, I mean, there's multiple properties within the village that have road frontage on two streets and have access from both streets.
Okay.
Can I just?
Tom, thank you.
Thanks, Sean.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tom Prieto, again. So I just wanted to caution that the requirement for a driveway would be that it has to be an improved 12-foot wide surface, because it's going to also now become for an access for first responders, et cetera. So,
Great. Okay.
it's not 12? Okay. Well, then maybe I stand.
I was talking with Dave Collins about it.
Okay, but now it's 12, you have to have 12 feet. I mean, I don't know, I've been doing this a long time.
Yeah.
I don't know, but unless the code is different,
Yeah.
if I stand corrected, I'm corrected, but,
Okay.
you're not gonna get in and out of 8 feet.
Oh, you're not going to be
Yeah, so-
able to.
No.
You need 12.
You need 12.
You need 12.
Well,
Thank you.
You think a fire truck couldn't get down 8-foot gate?
there's no way.
No, the trucks that we have today.
But I mean, they'll still have the access from Lockwood as well. That driveway will still be there.
Yeah.
But that's going to be your regular, that's going to be your address.
Yeah.
So
that's gonna-
77 Ocean, yes.
So that's your primary,
And that's where responders will go if there's an
Yes.
emergency.
right.
But they won't be able to get in.
Well, I think can we table and I'll get all this information in writing?
Yes, why don't we do that? And you could work with Gabby and Lisa will answer your questions. We help guide
And
you.
it also should be wood, not PVC.
And no PVC at all, anywhere,
Yeah.
anywhere on Ocean Avenue.
Just to that, you show the new driveway.
Okay,
I'm looking
yeah.
at the plan for a gate without a
Yes,
driveway.
without a driveway.
It has to show everything. As Lisa said, you get the horse before the cart, the cart before
Well, I think
the
like it's
horse.
like nobody wants to be the first one is the problem.
Exactly. Okay.
So we're kind of working.
Yeah, it's a little bit like approving it in a vacuum, not knowing exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. But
Want us
so
to
I'll
prove something,
discuss.
But we don't know what we're proving because we don't, you don't have.
Well, I can't, the assessor won't do the address
Yeah,
until the driveway. And
Okay.
so
Okay.
I'll just get everything written so that
Yes,
we're all on the
yes.
same page.
Thank you very
Okay.
much.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Okay, the next item on the agenda is Guildhall, 158 Main Street, and is the applicant present? Thank you. Welcome to the podium. Introduce yourself and good morning.
Morning. I'm Philippa Content. I'm the museum registrar and exhibitions coordinator at Guildhall. I'm here to request a renewal of the approval you guys gave last year for the Tony Rosenthal cube sculpture that's in front of the museum. As most of you might know, the cube was first installed in front of Guildhall in 1972. It's been there a really long time. It's a beloved fixture of East Hampton. And then it fell into disrepair, so we had to remove it. It was rusted, it would no longer spin. And the Rosenthal Foundation generously agreed to restore it for us. So we were very excited when it was able to be replaced last summer, and we just would like to have it be able to live at its home for as long as possible.
And how long would you like this extension for?
As long as you're willing to grant it. I put a year on the application.
I think normally it's 6 months.
If it's 6 months, then
Really?
Yeah,
Six.
6 months.
So we could do it for
Yeah.
6 months and then you could come back and, you know, make another application.
okay.
I have no problem with that, board members.
Does
So
that turn?
It spins, yes. Come
does
and
spin.
come and spin it. Yeah.
I didn't know they had trouble with, I don't know, the windstorm or whatever, and they had to re-weld it.
We had it restored.
Fast or whether they still have it, able to turn.
Yeah, it spins now again.
It's pretty neat.
It's beautiful, right?
Well, thank you. I'll make a motion to approve. Do I have a motion to approve the application?
I'll make a motion.
And thank you. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you very much. All in favor?
Aye.
Great. And now the other application you have is for the signage. And thank you, and thank you. Welcome. Welcome.
Thank you. Good morning. My name is John Moss. I'm the owner's representative and project manager for all the projects that are going on at Guildhall right now.
Thank you.
Very happy to note that the theater is wrapping up very soon. But we're here again for signage at the front of the building. The package that we sent you we submitted on page 3 shows what was approved last time.
Exactly.
We're here just focused on 2 signs at the front of the building. One is what we were referring to as the event totem, which you approved last time. And the other one is a building identification sign just on the other side of that walk.
Right.
When it comes to the event totem, in terms of design, in terms of aesthetics, there will be no change to that. We're asking for a variance from the Zoning Board of Appeals to let that be a backlit sign. And that's really being driven primarily because of the substantial cost that Guildhall goes through in order to continue to print signs and static signs and put them up over and over and over again. So that's that. Again, in terms of the aesthetics, we don't think that the sign, the size of the sign, the location of the panel, none of that would change relative to the design that was approved last time. When it comes to the building identification sign, that's the letter forms that say Guildhall, and I believe that's noted on. I think it's page 10. Page 9, 10, 11, and 12. And that is, again, sitting low to the ground on the right side as you're facing the entrance, and really there primarily to provide clarity for people who are coming in from out of town to know what the building is.
Okay.
I'll pause there. I can answer any questions that you might have.
Any questions so far?
The height is 19?
The height of the height of the building, you're talking about the building identification sign, right? It's not, the letter form itself is 19 inches high. The capital letters are 19 inches high. The lowercase letters are 13 inches high, and they sit on a base that is 9.5 inches high. And that base will be concealed with landscaping.
Thank you.
It's 28 and a half total?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, 28.5 inches total height.
It's a lot.
If I may make a comment, I don't like the name change of Guildhall. You know, the founding trustees named the gallery in honor of the Thomas Moran. He died in 1926. And the theater was in honor of John Drew. And he died a year later. And he was president of the Players in New York City. And both men were very much respected and honored in the community. And I give a lot of credit to the wonderful, generous donors that brought it into the 21st century. But I think, however, the memory of the trustees makes the upgrade meaningless. I don't know, I can't go along with a name change, but, it's always, my estimate, it's always been the John Drew Theater. And when I was a young pup, I was in the Guildhall Players for quite a few years. We put on a lot of shows. I built a lot of scenery. And I have a lot of respect for Guildhall and all the activities they had. But I'd just soon see the name John Drew Theater remain.
I'm probably not the best person to speak to that. I appreciate that concern, and I know that when it comes to those types of changes, they are not done quickly. They're not done without deep consideration.
Yeah, they should be considered.
Yeah, for many different factors associated with it, but I'm probably not the best person to speak to it.
I do have a question about this. Is Guildhall, is it that the name anyplace else on the building, or this is the only place that it's?
He was on the
event totem at the top in smaller letters. It does say Guildhall. The concern there is that as people are driving down the street, obviously a lot of people from East Hampton, they know Guildhall well, but there are a lot of people from outside of East Hampton that are coming to see the shows. And so the intent was to try to provide a sign that was very clear that they could see from a distance.
I feel like this is a little too large as you enter the village. The style of it is, to me, fine, but you've got 9.5 inches and another 19 inches. You're way up here, and it's a little out of.
And we're coming up with almost 30 inches. So, am I correct?
Yeah, it's 28.
By the time you've got the base plus your 19, it's 28 and a half.
Yeah, it's a little.
Like there from the
Okay.
ground.
Prototype it.
Yeah.
I feel like we have to see a prototype. It's very big.
And it's sort of startling in a way.
Yeah.
I don't really know why you need it. Why do you need it again?
GPS tells everybody where Guildhall is.
Can I just put on the record that one of the board members has a tape measure that was extended out to, how many inches was it? 28 inches, just as a visual cue to the rest of the board.
Which is
28, you can explain.
It's 28.5 inches, which is the overall height that is.
Which was
listed
used
on
as a visual clue for the rest of the board.
Yes.
I can say that when 2x4, the designers came out, they did mock it up. They had large pieces of paper where they looked at it. They were actually thinking that in that context, in the large landscape in front, the streetscape, the sidewalk, the size of the building, they were actually looking at a larger sign, and they scaled it down knowing that the size would be a concern. So we were trying to keep it a modest size given that particular context. So that was one of it was definitely considered, and the concern was that maybe it just gets too small and it doesn't get noticed.
And the overall width?
The overall width of the sign is 9'5" and 3/4 inches, 9'6".
It's a little, I think it's just too much. And everybody knows Guildhall, and if they're coming from anywhere else, I just feel that it's just too overwhelming. I don't think it's necessary anyway.
I don't think so either.
And I don't know. It's a little too, my attitude, it's a little too brash for East Hampton. It's a little too much. It's over the top. It's not like we're in a big, large city, a metropolitan area where we need to say, this is the Met. To have something this large in a little village. And everybody knows Guildhall. There's only one Guildhall, am I correct? There's not that many. So
it's not Lincoln Center.
It's not Lincoln Center.
I understood. Again, I think it was mostly driven by other people who don't know East Hampton well, coming in and trying to make sure they knew what the building was. I know that you can't opine much on hypotheticals. Would you entertain a smaller sign? Could we come back with a smaller sign? Or, because I'm also hearing concern about the sign in and of itself, and we would like to take another pass at it. Perhaps we can mock it up and take some photographs and show what it would look like in front of the building, and maybe that would.
Well, why don't you do that then? Make it much smaller though, and how many? 9.5 feet wide. We don't need. that. It's too large.
I have a question about these, what you want to backlight these information totems. They're not going to change the visual like on Montauk Highway all the time.
No, when it came,
Sunrise Highway.
No, I appreciate that question. When it came to, in our application to the Zoning Board of Appeals, we preemptively addressed some of those issues. We said that we would have no moving images whatsoever. I think we said that we would not change that image any faster than once per minute. And we said that we would turn that sign off after hours.
Once per minute, you're going to change the
intent is that there are many offerings at Guildhall, and so they can only advertise one on that sign at a time, unless they are printing and changing, going out, removing the graphic, putting another graphic on. They're spending $30,000-$40,000 a year on that type of thing. So the idea is that allow them to use technology in a way that's not offensive visually, but at the same time allows them to change the image, basically allow people to know more of the offerings more frequently. So again, certainly the intent is not to do a constant changing image by any means. Certainly not moving images like you see in the city all the time. This is only just to have one static image and to be able to change that static image, fade one off, fade one on.
every minute.
No more frequently than once a minute, and we can change that. We're happy to adjust that to address concerns.
How vibrant is this? I see that it's being lit from below in the evening, but during the daytime, how vibrant is it?
Well, I don't think that during the daytime it would be any different than the sign that's there right now. Or that's there right now. We wouldn't be able to make it any brighter. So the intent is, if it's not approved, then we would be putting a traditional light that casts light up onto the sign. that would be there around the clock, like many other signs around.
Thank you. Billy, what's your input on this and the lighted signs? Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Good morning, board members. Billy Ajak. So as it was indicated, the backlit signs are prohibited by our zoning code.
Right.
So they are before the zoning board for a variance. I believe a variance is also required for the amount of signage. I think they're exceeding the allowable signage. I think sounds like the design review board has picked up on that and is asking for, maybe things to be tightened up a little bit.
Exactly.
So in terms of if they want to come back and ask for something different, that's up between you and the board. This is a special permit because it's a special permit property. So you're also conducting your preliminary review before it would go to the zoning board for variances and the issuance of a special permit.
Okay.
So I think you're giving the applicant, good guidance and direction in terms of what way to head, though.
Okay. So basically, you'll have to go for your special permit, and then, so I guess this.
Come back to us after.
Yeah, this
after
will
the
conclude
ZBA.
the preliminary review, and we'll see what happens then, and we'll go from there. Okay.
Well, you do have Guildhall on the billboards there. I mean, everybody knows Guildhall. And somebody just coming into town and takes one look at it, and it doesn't take long to find out just what it is.
No, again, understood. We don't disagree with that. It's well known and well loved in East Hampton. It's really about, there are many people coming from outside that don't know Guildhall. They don't know the location, and that's really trying to just make sure that people know it, as opposed to not being clear, driving around the block a couple times until they're very clear on what it is. So while I might be surprised that some people would not know that building, seeing it as a very unique building, it's the case. A lot of people don't know, and so they circle the block and do U-turns in people's driveways trying to find it. So we're just trying to make it a little bit more clear for those who don't know Guildhall.
My personal opinion is my own opinion is I don't really think that we need to have a lot of lighted signs around Guildhall, and I don't think it's a good idea to have flashing lighting and having things that are moving and rotating. I just don't see that for the village of East Hampton. I think it's a little over the top. And it's too eye-catching. So do we really need eye catchers in East Hampton? The village has always liked things sort of subdued.
Yes, I do.
Subdued and a little understated. I think things are nicer when they're understated as opposed to overstated and accentuated and highlighted. And I think that this, my own opinion is that in this kind of direction you're going into, I think it's a little much. That's my own opinion.
It's also distracting when you're driving, I think, if things change and change and change.
It's not relaxed and subdued. It's like, why do we need that? Well, we know Guildhall, we all respect it. We know that they have dynamic programs and interesting programs, but do we need lighting to that level or changing lighting? My own opinion is no.
Understood. Just to be clear, we're not looking at flashing signs. We're not looking at moving images. It would always appear to be a static image, always. It's just the expense of doing it is rather substantial. The waste of throwing these things away over and over again. Guildhall is trying to let people know what they're offering. They have shows in the galleries. They have shows in the theater. So that really is the intent, not to try to do more to call attention to itself. That's aesthetically, it's definitely not the case. So I just wanted to I understand the opinion. It's really driven less about, hey, it's drawing attention to itself. It's more about letting people know what Guildhall is offering for the good of, for the good of the community.
And how are you doing the signs now? How often are they changing?
I'm not sure.
Come on up to the podium. State your name for the record as well.
Hello, I'm Andrea Grover. I'm the executive director of Guildhall. Nice to see you all. We are changing the signs about every 6 weeks now because of the expense. It's about $600 to have the signs changed each time. And we have, over the summer, we have about 40 public programs in the theater, plus we'll have 2 more exhibitions. So we can only fit 4 events on the sign. So you see, we're not really advertising what we do. And Guildhall, of course, relies on earned income and contributions, and not being able to get the word out about what we're offering means that we're not selling as many tickets. And the financial sustainability of the institution is critical. I mean, it has been around for 93 years because of the generosity of the community and people purchasing memberships and coming to our programs. But if we're not advertising them, people, they do know what Guildhall is, but it doesn't even say outside theater museum, so it is a little bit oblique for people who are coming in from out of town.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
So as I said, this concludes our preliminary review and okay. Get back to us. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Any other questions or comments? If not, then I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion.
Cheryl, thank you. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you all.